Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. We are in a little bit of a different setting. I am outside on my back porch patio because it's absolutely gorgeous, and since this is an outdoor project, I thought it would be fitting to do it outside. So I have just wanted to show you things I'm going to be using. So I have my hot glue gun. I have this bowl that I had actually made over. It was about 2 years ago. I will link it, the video at the end of this one, if you want to see how I created the concrete look on it and how I weighed it down and all that stuff. Because I just leave it outside and it sits outside, the top part kind of got a little bit weathered. I still have it. I'm going to use it for a different project, but I wanted to give this a bit of a new look. So I am keeping this piece of wood here, and there are rocks underneath it to weigh it down, so that way when there's winds it doesn't go flying everywhere. And then I went out to Dollar Tree and picked up all of these assortment of succulents. I'm probably not going to use all of them because the bowl and obviously the amount of succulents I have is more succulents than the size of the bowl, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But that way I have my choice of what I want to use. I also picked up some of this artificial moss, and then I also have a couple rocks here because I'm thinking I might, depending on how much moss I have left over, dress them up and make them into little moss balls, and so that I can just fill it in and have it even more of a weight down. Now this is a kind of a look for less or high-end dupe, because I had seen these, for example, here on Wayfair. It is over $100, and I can really make this one for probably under $10, which is what I like to keep it, especially if I'm going to be keeping it outside, because no matter how much money you pay, I find over the years the outdoor stuff does wear and tear because of the outdoor elements, so especially here in Canada. So I don't obviously keep it out all of winter. Pretty much spring until mid-fall is when things are kept outside. So without further ado, I'm going to get started and assemble this. So first I'm going to do a bit of a dry run just to see how I want things to look. And I'm going to cut off these little tips just so they sit nicer. And this one has obviously a very long one, so this just pulls out. I think the Dollar Tree has such a great assortment of succulents, and I lucked out because they were fully stocked, so I was able to pick and choose whichever ones I wanted to use. I wanted it to add a little bit of color, but not to be too overpowering, so I added couple colored ones, but kind of stuck mostly to the green tones. I do also love creating these look for less or high-end dupes, because there's so much decor out there, and as some prices I just don't understand sometimes where they come up with them. I know that this might be a touch smaller, although if I were to measure it, I bet you it was close to 8 inches what that one was on there. And with a little bit of creativity, you can achieve almost the same exact look as the store-bought stuff for a fraction of the price, especially for something that you're going to be keeping outside and it's going to be getting hit by elements, because I don't want to have to bring it in every time it's raining or windy or anything like that. If I have to do that I'd rather just not have anything, because it's just such a pain in the butt to be doing that, in my opinion. I know there's people, I don't even like really having cushions on my chairs for that same reason, because I to keep in mind that I have to put the cushions away every time it rains. It's too much work for me. That's just me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with I admire people that do that, but like I said, for me, I just want something simple that looks beautiful and it's functional. When gluing these on, you want to be fairly generous to do so. I was thinking about maybe removing the wood and putting like florist brick there in there, but I was worried what would happen if it was getting constantly wet from the rain and stuff. I know that I will probably have to redo a little bit of glue at the end of the season or before next year's season, just because again with all the rain and stuff the glue will come loose. But I had if you watched the video when I originally made this, I did have one of those green balls, kind of boxwood balls on there, and I had glued it, and it lasted me for 3 years, so 2 or 3 years. So I mean, it really isn't it doesn't come apart that easily as long as you're fairly generous. And I like having that piece of wood in there, and there's rocks underneath to weigh it down again for the wind and all that fun stuff that comes with spring and summer weather. So I did find that I had room for about 2 of these rocks, so I had wrapped up these with the 2 rocks with this moss. This is a different moss than I'm used to working. These are more like moss discs, and they have some sort of a black backing on them, almost like a fuzzy backing, which makes them quite thick. But you can remove that if, like I did for the wrapping of the rocks, just because it was a little bit too bulky with it on and it was showing through. And I'm only covering the top because the bottom's going to be glued to the top of it, so you can't see the bottom. And this just added a little bit extra weight. And now I just continued to fill in wherever I saw, if I saw wood or the other moss that was there from the previous project, I just ended up cutting this and filling it in until I covered all of it.
Someone did you wrong. I can see it in your eyes. It's like your fire is gone. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna talk, I'm right here, not gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face.
So here it is, all finished, and I just love the way it turned out. I think the color of the moss is just the right choice, and a little bit of rocks just gave it a little bit of more of a heavier look, which is what I was looking for. And I think it's going to look absolutely stunning on my table here instead of that. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not. If you're stopping by again, a returning subscriber, thank you so much for following along. I appreciate it so very much. So until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching.
If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it